Welcome to Tracy's Truths. Today our topic is why be a tiger parent when you can be a leopard parent? So first of all, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with the topic Tiger Mom or the title Tiger Mom. It's based upon the book by Amy Chu called The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mom. In this book, Amy primarily wrote about some of the traditional ways of parenting, and she really wrote it in a humorous manner, even though people didn't take it like that. She got a lot of pushback, but if you ever see her in an interview, she kind of meant it as a satire on some abrasive parenting styles. But some folks took it literally and decided to create that label Tiger Mom and all the stereotypes that come with Tiger Mom. So I'm going to just call it like parenting, tiger parenting, because there's a lot of dads out there who also have these traits that we're going to talk about today. So I'll refer to it as tiger parents. So first of all, let's take a look at some of the characters of a tiger parent. So with that being said, there's the extreme opposite of that, and that's what we call the new age laissez faire parent. Let's take a look at some of the characteristics of those new age laissez faire parents. We've all felt the wrath of that laissez-faire parenting. An example is you go out to a restaurant and their kid starts having their typical temper tantrum, which is pretty normal for them, and then you keep hearing that, if you don't stop, I'm going to take you out of here, or if you don't stop, I'm going to tell so-and-so, or when I count to 3, well, they never get to 3. They never take the kid out of the restaurant, and it continues just to disrupt our restaurant, disrupt our dining experience. So all I can say is I don't even want to discuss the laissez-faire, new age laissez-faire parenting. That's a whole other show in itself. But I wish you'd take the kid out of the restaurant and stop disrupting my meal. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that in a whole nother show. But I would like to suggest a different style of parenting. Not to the extreme of the tiger parenting characteristics that we saw earlier, and not to the extreme of the laissez-faire parenting that we're seeing coming of age now, but something kind of in between called the leopard parent. And let's take a look at some of the characteristics of a leopard parent. At the actual characteristics of a tiger. So this is the actual animal, the tiger animal. And here are some of the characteristics of a leopard, an actual leopard. On the surface, you would think, okay, that all things being equal, they're both being healthy, a tiger can take a leopard. Well, that's true, but you have to remember the leopard is a lot faster and a lot more agile due to the slender physique of its nature. It's able to run a lot faster, and it's a lot more cunning. So here's a good example. You have a torrential flood, and this is an actual picture of a flood in Kenya. So you have this torrential flood. The tiger and the leopard both are good swimmers. But so you have this 500-pound tiger whose strength and its power is pretty strong, but that can't help the timber and the trees and the rocks that are also caught up in that flood. Well, the leopard's sitting on top of the tree above the torrential floods, and is sitting there looking down going, look at you, numpty, yeah, you're strong, but you're down there dodging rocks and trees, and I'm sitting up here above the flood zone in the tree just kind of chillaxing. So I'm just saying, sometimes strength does not win over an ability to think, an ability to climb and get beyond
Obviously,
drama. Your parenting style is your choice. But just a reminder, do you want to raise your children to prioritize schoolwork, that's above everything else that they do, that push them towards excellence and perfection, to emphasize academia and only participate in competitive sports, and have an exorbitantly high level of expectations, keep them under duress and emotional stress and low impact physical threats, to keep them striving towards your expectations, and not allow them to make their own mistakes. There's a laissez-faire parenting, which members, you let them do as they please. You're very permissive, you impose no rules and regulations, and few controls are in the house, and you allow them to make their own decisions no matter what the cost. So that's the laissez-faire parenting. Or the new leopard parenting, where you have rules in your house that are appropriate for their age. You stress the importance of school, but you balance that with understanding of their capabilities. You want your children to be happy, whether that's going to college, whether that's getting a trade, whether it's serving in the military. It's that you're more concerned about their happiness and their balancing work and life. You stress competitive and non-competitive sports, team and individual type sports. You want them to balance work and play, and your ultimate goal is for them to be happy. You understand that they're not mini-me's and they're going to make mistakes, but mistakes are not necessarily failures. When your children are young, you do provide them direction. You provide them direction on how to behave. But as they grow and they age, you become more of give more guidance and mentorship. So obviously, it's up to you. What kind of parent do you want to be? Do you want to have a child who's a forced number one, or do you want a child who's a natural number one? Because we know that tiger parents, the characteristics is they want their child to be the best. They want their child to exceed at everything they do in perfection. And we all know where perfection leads. So you can have your child, through tiger parenting, be a forced number one, or you can have your child be a natural number one. And that's by giving your child the ability to be an independent thinker, make mistakes, have successes at the same time. Because here's what's going to happen. When that force number one burns out, and we know they will burn out, our natural number one children through leopard parenting are going to be ready to take the lead. But you tell me, are you a tiger parent? Do you prefer the leopard parent, or are you a laissez-faire parent? And if you are, write me at TraceysTruths@gmail.com. Tell me which one you prefer, or give me a comment on Facebook. I appreciate all comments, and we'll take a look and see what parenting style is preferable out there. Let me know. And I hope you'll join me next week for Whatever Happened to Manners.